What goes on, guys? We're back here again with another review, and today we are finally going to be taking a look at the figure that I was most excited for of the year that has been announced so far, the Neca Goliath from Gargoyles. And this is, look, Gargoyles is before my time, given my age here a little bit, but you guys know I'm a freshman in college anyway, so yeah, this was before my time, but when they put it on Disney Plus, I wanted to watch it, so I went through, watched the whole series, and it's phenomenal. And as soon as I finished the series, I wanted figures of it. I was like, these character designs are amazing and would work great in action figure form, so give it to me. Lo and behold, not even 3 months later after finishing the show, Neca reveals the image that I'm about to show you in a second. And my mind was blown. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was fake, blah, blah, blah. People were going nuts. I saw YouTubers going crazy about it. I was so happy when they announced it because it was perfect timing. It's something that I've wanted immediately after watching the show. I'm so happy to have it. But anyway, let's get into this. Finally taking a look at the box here. This art is incredible, like incredible. If I didn't keep my boxes, I would cut this off to like frame or just hang up because it looks so good. The box is big, I gotta try to keep it in frame. On the side here you get a product image, says Gargoyles right there, Neca Goliath looking all savage and awesome. On the back here you get another image of Goliath. Here is the read up. It's a little bit blurry, but let me see if I can zoom in on that for you guys. There's the read up for you guys. Oh, sorry. There's the read up for you guys. You get more product images of Goliath here. You can see him with the different faces, the different expressions, different poses and accessories. Awesome. Here's another image of Goliath there. Looks so badass. On the top, you get Gargoyles, Goliath. On the bottom here is the barcode. Let me get that focused in for you guys in case you're looking for this. There we go. And then going ahead and opening this up, this was the image that they revealed on their Instagram that was like, no way this is happening, and it was, and it did. So very happy. It is a little bit different because if you look at the face, there's pupils in the eyes with the open mouth, but when we get to it, you'll see that the open head has white eyes. So maybe there was just a little mix up or product change. And then you can see the figure and all the accessories in there with the nice brick pattern around the side. So yeah, this, and the box is huge, I gotta say. Very big, heavy box. But without further ado, let's finally go ahead and take a closer look. So taking Goliath out of the packaging, guys, this thing is insane. This is a work of art. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I cannot believe that this thing even exists, and the way that it was executed so perfectly and beautifully just mesmerizes me, and I'm so happy with the turnout for it. I mean, just look at him standing there. He's massive. I can barely fit him on to my viewfinder here because his wings are so large, and I don't want to, you gotta keep it clean. You gotta keep it clean. But these wings are enormous, and you know what? They're awesome. I have little to no complaints about this guy. Very nitpicky shit. Like, it's a very good action figure, and I just cannot believe that he turned out this good. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. We're gonna start with the wings. Look at that, bro. The sculpt of the bat-like textures in the skin looks fantastic. I love when Neca takes things that necessarily wouldn't have that much detail, because they easily could have got away with just making these flat because it was a cartoon, but no, they went the extra mile and sculpted all of the vein work in there, all the scales, and making it look reptilian and whatever. And then you have up here the thumb, well, what would be the thumb, and the elbow. But yeah, the bat-like wings are amazing. They're huge. The texture all runs through the back as well, but I like the little detail of not putting veins on the back of the wings, just for the sake of that is biologically accurate. You would see more of the veinage on the inside as if the light's coming through the back. So I really like that. That looks amazing. Now, taking a look at the first head sculpt here, we'll get to the second one in a second. That's Goliath. I mean, certain angles look spot on You know what? He looks spot on everywhere. I think that head sculpt is perfect. The expression works great for him. You know, no smile, no funny business type character. It looks great. The hair is sculpted gorgeously. It comes to the flat top like he has. Gotta watch the wings, but the sculpt on the hair is gorgeous, and I like how it smooths out and it still looks natural even though there's no like real detail work at the front. It's soft, so it will get out of the way when it needs to, but when we get to articulation we'll talk about that. But there's a nice blue paint wash on that, or dry brush, so that looks awesome. But yeah, that head sculpt is freaking awesome. That is really good. We'll get to the other one in a second, but going down to the body, it seems very reminiscent of their DC versus Dark Horse like books or figures, like the Batman and the Superman ones, but they just like bulked it. The sculpt is crazy good on this thing. Very crisp and clean. Has a realistic effect, but also like a cartoony aspect to it. The paint wash is all matte finished, which, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of when they do that because it just makes the action figure look so much more high quality. And it works so nice. There's the dry brush, not a dry brush, it's more of like a paint shading in the pecs. On the side, you can see like the shoulders. They look great. It works all the way down to the arm. They even do it under the arm, which is really, really nice. They do it on the back, even though there's the wings on there that, you know, you theoretically really wouldn't be looking at his back. They still went ahead and did the paint wash back there. The arms look great. You get nice veinage on the hands that make them look very realistic and very good. It's just really sculpted and painted amazingly. Moving down to the abs, you do get them sculpted all the way through, but his little like wannabe pants, I don't really know what to call these, I'll cover it, but these look amazing too. The plastic that they use is very matte and soft, so it works really well, and the paint wash that they put in there is extremely well done. Even from afar, like it just, you can see the detail in there, so that is super awesome. You get the gold belt buckle and then the belt that goes around. This is not a separate piece, but it looks like it could be. The paint wash goes all the way to the back, you know, the loincloth wrapping around his tail. It just, the texture, there's two different textures. You get more of a clothy texture and then more of a leathery texture on the belt. So that is freaking incredible to me how good that looks. You get like little tatters and shit, so I gotta say that's pretty awesome. And then coming along to the tail, the tail is a little lackluster. I wish there was just a little bit of like shading along the bottom maybe, or like at the base of the tail. It just seems kind of, this seems like really cartoony, whereas the rest of the figure seems like it just cartoon inspired, if that makes sense. So I think a little bit more detail in the tail would have been nice, but honestly, not that big a deal. You do get the holes in there because it is a bendy tail, but that never bothers me, so that's freaking cool. And then going down to his big chunky legs, I mean, the muscular texture on that is so good. Like the sculpt is immaculate. Even the paint, I mean, you get the paint work within the muscles going down to the knee, looks really good. The calf is sculpted gorgeously. Let me get the tail out of the way. This calf is sculpted gorgeously, very muscular, as he should be. And then going down to the ankle and the foot here, you get, you know, his weird gargoyle feet. That cut there, I did that. When I was opening it, I effed it up. So that is not there on Neca's behalf. That is my fault. But the toenails, I didn't mention that up here, but the nails are painted. So are the toenails. That is super, super awesome. And these joints are pretty tight. So, I mean, they'll fall a little bit, but for the most part, they've been holding up really well. You get the degenerate leg. That looks really, really nice, you know, because he walks on his toes or whatever. That's awesome. The back Torflex is really, really good. So, yeah, it's incredible. It's really, really nice. And like I said, he stands pretty good. The paint wash on the feet is really, really nice. And I think implemented very nice, as the rest of the body is. And just standing there, I mean, he just looks so imposing just standing there. And it's so awesome. Sometimes you do have to use the tail for him to lean on, but it never looks out of place, you know. And you could definitely get him to balance there for a couple seconds if you want to take a good picture or something like that. So I think that it works really, really well. I mean, I can't get over the way that this thing looks. The only thing that I can say about the aesthetic that I wish they changed, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be, is, you know, pinless would be nice. I'm getting attached to this pinless thing, you know, thanks to Hasbro or whatever, giving us pinless everything at this point. So I guess the spoiled collector in me wants pinless joints on everything now. But, you know, he's good enough to where you don't really realize it, because there's only on the whole thing 8 pins. So it's not that big a deal. It looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories, because he does come with quite a few things. So starting off, he does come with the Book of Spells, which is done gorgeously for a tiny little accessory. It is so well done. The pages on the side are sculpted very, very nicely. There's a nice paint wash on it. The texture on the cover and the spine look really good. And it looks like it's from the show. So I can really appreciate that. And to go with the book is the book holding hand. It's only for the left side, but it really, I mean, why would you need to? It doesn't make that big a difference to me. The nails are painted very good. The sculpt is very nice, you know, with the whole veins on there, like the other hands are. So you just kind of weave the book spine into the fingers, and he holds it fantastically. The only thing about this is I wish this was a vertical hinge, because it would make it so that you can angle the book a little bit better to make it look like he's reading it a little bit more. So yeah, but the wash, I mean, the paint detail on the accessories alone is incredible. You do get jalapeno here, very, very tiny. I don't really remember why he comes with the jalapeno, but you know, whatever. It's cool. I remember being in the show, but I don't remember being like super significant to the point where we would get that as an accessory. But I'm not going to complain about a jalapeno, so that's pretty cool. And then you get the other alternate hands, which are the big waking up hands, like when they wake up at night, you know, like when they're breaking out of the rock. So that's pretty awesome. These are really, really cool. They look really good, and they look good on the figure, which I'll show right now. So they pop out very easily. There's a little bit of paint chipping, as there is with many and most NECA figures, but honestly, once all the paint chips off, you know, the hinge colors are pretty much identical to the paint anyway, so it's not that big a deal, at least not to me. But you know, so you get the clawing, like dramatic pose hands, and the claws are sharp on this motherfucker. So I gotta say, just be a little bit cautious, but it's honestly not that big a deal. And then my favorite accessory is the alternate head here. So let's go ahead and pop this off. Get the double dumbbell joint, and then pop on the alternate head, which looks awesome. Just gotta angle it right. With the hair, it gets a little wonky, but look at this alternate head here. You get the awake at night, angry, let's talk business Goliath, and this is awesome. You get the whited out eyes, the open mouth, with the jaw. Like I said, on the box it doesn't show that because it showed this mouth with these eyes, but I like this better. I'm very, very happy with this. The sculpt is fantastic. The expression is great. It looks just as good as the other one, if not better. I'm probably going to pose him using that head. This is so Goliath. I hope that, you know, they said that they have 7 figures coming. You know, we saw Demona, and we saw someone else. We saw somebody else too. I forget who it was, but I'm not really too excited about the other one because it seems to just be a repaint of Goliath. But Demona, yeah, let's go. And I feel like every gargoyle, you know, if they eventually give us the whole team, which knowing NECA they probably will, they all should come with this head sculpt. I really, really like it. It is so good, and it's so gargoyles. I mean, I just picture the opening scene of them, you know, waking up at night and, you know, doing like this pose. Wings getting a little loose there, but like doing like that pose, like waking up on top of the rooftops. It's so awesome. So yeah, I gotta say the accessories on this are amazing, especially for the price point, which we'll talk about more at the end. But you can't go wrong with this. You can't go wrong with this amount of accessories. But let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation because it is implemented gorgeously. Starting off on the wings, you get the swivel. They can both go all the way up to about there. So sorry about the weird angle there, but my camera's not tall enough for that. They can go down. They do kind of clash with each other on the back a little bit. So if they're both going down, they only go about to straight, but you can move them and alternate them a little bit. They're on individual pegs, which is nice. And then you do get a hinge, which are heavy detents. So it'll go all the way up and going forward it'll go about there, but you might start to pull the peg out a little bit, so just be careful with that. But I think the wings work really, really nice. I'm going to take them off for the rest of the articulation just so they're not flopping all over the place, but the wings really, really nice. They haven't really gotten loose. The right side is a little loose on the swivel, but honestly not bad to complain about. The hay does not really look up very much, and it's really not because of the hair, because the hair is very hollow and soft. He just doesn't look up, so he'll only look up about that much, which is kind of a complaint. He'll look down all the way. You do get side to side swivel and a good amount of pivot, so I think overall the head's pretty good. I just wish he moved up a little bit, but since he kind of juts forward, you know, it's kind of like he's hunching, so it does make it a little bit more difficult for him to stand or to look up. The shoulders, big chunky shoulders, still get up to horizontal, down all the way, rotate 360. You do get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the wrist swivel and hinge horizontally on all of them. This is just a straight peg there. So there's just a swivel there, but on the diaphragm joint, it's a little soft. He's gonna crunch forward that much. He'll crunch back, arc backwards that much. You do get a rotation up there too, and it does pivot. So I think the articulation's pretty good on there. Sure, I think they could have squeezed a little bit more. Like, I think instead of doing just a straight peg at the base for a swivel, I think they could have made it another ball, but, you know, not the big a deal. The hips are going to move outwards that much. They'll move down. He'll kick forward about that far. He'll kick back also pretty far. You do get an implemented thigh swivel in there. The tail has a swivel, a hinge that goes down, only up about that much, and it is bendy, so you can get it all the way around, and it poses really, really nice. I really like the way they did the tail. I was worried that it wouldn't be bendy, but thank goodness it is. You get a single jointed knee that'll kick backwards that much, kick forwards that much, and it does rotate at the knee. Then going down to the ankle, you get ankle pivot here. It'll hinge backwards all the way, hinge forward, and then at the toes, it'll flatten out the foot so it can go down all that much. It'll go up that much, and it does pivot a little bit at the toe too. I would just be careful with that. I wouldn't go all the way with it, but yeah. It does make, I mean, his design alone does make it a little bit difficult to get him to stand just because he has so much going on. A tail, wings, big hair, like, you know, tackling him as an action figure probably wasn't the easiest thing, but the way that they did it was really nice. And I think the way that they implemented the tight joints for the articulation was really smart on their end. So yeah, I think the articulation works very, very nice on him. Like, as good as it could be, honestly. I don't think there's much that I would have changed other than maybe having him look up a little bit more than he does. Now for comparisons, like size comparisons, I don't really know what to compare him to because I don't really, like, obviously this is the first figure in the line, so there's not much to compare him to. So I'm just going to give two of the most popular lines a chance just to show you just how big this guy is. So starting off, here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Superman, just because I have him laying around the dorm. And he's taller than Superman, even not fully stretched out. I put him in a neutral pose to where I feel like most people are going to have him. But you know, he's a big boy, and the wings alone are longer. One wing alone is longer than the entire Superman figure, so he's big in that regard too. And then putting him next to a Marvel Legend, we have the Marvel Legend Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi looks like he would get his ass beat by Goliath, honestly, but you know, it is a lot smaller. I mean, they're different scales, so I totally understand that. But I mean, just to get a general sense of how big Goliath is. Again, like Shang-Chi can like fit in his wing. Like that's crazy. So, and for the price point, I mean, the price point alone is incredible, which we'll talk about more in final thoughts. But yeah, just know that Goliath is a big boy, and he's going to take a lot of retail space on your shelf. So while I don't think it's any surprise to anyone out there, but there may be some of you asking, yo, Ant, what do you think of this figure? I absolutely love it. The fact that this exists, that it is this good, the price point. Guys, this is $30, $32.99 if you want to be really particular. How? Like, NECA must be making barely anything on this to give the amount of accessories that they did, the giant ass wings, the big figure himself, a bendy tail. It's, for the price point, this is an amazing action figure, Even if it was $40 to $50, I still think it'd be worth the price point. It is so good. But the fact that NECA is able to implement all of this amazing stuff for the low price point, I don't know how they do it, but you know what? I'm not going to ask questions. All I'm going to do is buy their stuff. This is awesome. I mean, my only real complaint is I wish he looks up a little bit more than he does. Other than that, I'm not going to complain about anything. I refuse to. I will not, because this is amazing. I'm giving this, if I was to rate this, I would give it an 11 out of 10. Honestly, this is the best figure I've played with in a long time, like really long time. You know what? If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, please go follow me on Instagram. You saw my post when I found the box. I said in the caption, question, figure of the year? Question mark? Because this is probably going to be my favorite action figure of the year. I don't really see anything debunking this. So stay tuned. Like, it is an amazing toy, and I definitely am going to go ahead and say that this is my favorite of the year. But let me know. Are you copping? You copping, guys? Because if you're not, you're nuts. Even if you're not a huge Gargoyles fan and you just like action figures, go do yourself a favor and get this guy. He is so worth it, and you'll have a great time with him. But with that, I think that's finally all I have to say today. So if you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Let me know if you're getting him. Let me know your thoughts on him. I'd love to hear it. Is anybody just as excited about this as I am? I think there is a large amount of people out there that are very happy to have him. So I know I'm not alone in that regard, but that's all I got for today. So I will see you guys in the next review. Peace.